This feels like a scene out of heaven, an idyllic setting of tropical vegetation lining a vast mass of gentle water slowly forcing its way downstream to meet the oceans in the south of Thailand. With a backdrop of rugged mountains inhabited by tribespeople dating back thousands of years, I cannot believe that I'm here on River Khwae. One thing this area is famous for is the floating rafts that make their way around the river system. Enormous and heavy floating buildings that are used as restaurants, for sightseeing and even as people's homes. Without any onboard motors or way of steering, the rafts rely on the skill of these local tugboat operators who pull, push, drag and manoeuvre these floating dwellings around with perfect precision in somewhat forceful and sometimes unforgiving currents. People from all over the world come here to enjoy the fresh local river fish cooked with flavour, colour, passion and on these floating riverside restaurants. There is only one place on earth we could possibly be. We're here in Kanchanaburi on the bridge over the River Kwai. Surrounded by rich green forest, this is the perfect location to cook a jungle curry pork, a dish that we also cook at our restaurant, the River Kwai. Kanchanaburi town is located 128 kilometres to the west of Bangkok. Just a short 2-hour journey by car or train, it's a place you may come for a day, but then stay for a week. Surrounded by the jungle, here on River Khwae, otherwise known as the River Kwai, and we're cooking a jungle pork curry. This is the coolest curry in the world because it uses ingredients that are so easy to find, but we don't use them enough. And this is some of the ones I want to show you here. Now, this here is a baby corn, and this is how it comes fresh, still in the husk. It's really lovely. Over here are the Thai eggplants that we picked at that organic farm yesterday. This one here, grachai. Now, grachai is, the best way to describe it is like a ginseng style of flavour. Adds a very earthy flavour, very unique for jungle curry. The pea eggplant as well, really fresh, cut, crunchy and slightly bitter. And then we have the fresh peppercorns still on the stem. Absolutely amazing ingredients. Can't wait to use them. You can buy them at a good Asian grocer. First, we heat up the wok. And this time we're going to cook the curry paste in oil. Just a small amount of oil, about 2 tablespoons is enough, and you can use a red curry paste for this jungle curry. Make sure that you fry the curry paste first and allow all of the aromatic flavours to come out of the curry paste. This curry is quite unique as we're not using any coconut milk whatsoever, just pork stock for this one. Okay, so the curry paste has released its flavour and now we add the pork. At home you can buy any pork neck from the butcher. This one here in this region actually comes from wild boar. What we're using here is the cut from the neck, and it's just very, very thinly sliced so it cooks quickly. We add that to the curry paste. Now with this curry, because it cooks in the pork stock, we only want to cook the pork now with the curry paste for about 2 minutes until it's half done. Another important thing that's happening here is the curry paste, the flavour's getting deep into the meat before we add the stock as well. So now we add the stock. Just enough to cover the pork. Okay, time to add all those lovely fresh ingredients from the jungle. We add our grachai, our corn, the red chilies, some snake beans, our wild pepper, and the kaffir lime leaf. Okay, then we add our pea eggplants and also the cut Thai eggplants. And now for the next few minutes we can let that simmer as I can just sit here and watch the river go by. The mountainous backdrop to the rivers in Kanchanaburi is home to many people including Thai, Mon, Hill Tribe and Karan people who are famous for their handcrafted jewellery with black sapphires. You will also experience some of the most unique ingredients Thailand has to offer. The flavours in this area are inspired by the jungle, tastes of heat, bitterness and sour. Visit their communities with an open heart and an open mind. You will love it just as much as I do. Okay, just to finish it off, the last few ingredients. Some sugar, just a small amount of sugar. We don't want it too sweet, about a tablespoon. But if you want to make it sweeter, it's completely up to you. Then some fish sauce to add the salt. And then we finish it off with some lovely holy basil. Great, fresh, vibrant flavours. Something completely different. All right, I'm going to serve this one up. And there we go, a little bit of holy basil to finish it off. In Kanchanaburi, on the River Khwae, a jungle red pork curry. After the break, we visit the iconic bridge over the River Kwai, and I cook a delicious vegetarian warm mushroom salad. The bridge on the River Kwai was built by prisoners of war and many local people under the rule of the Japanese soldiers during the Second World War. With over 400 kilometres of track, the Burma Railway made its way through Thailand and deep into Myanmar. This solid steel construction was bombed by the Allied forces and then later repaired to the bridge that still stands today. Local tour operating trains are the only wheels that pass over this historic bridge nowadays, and it's one of the most amazing and emotional places to visit when in Kanchanaburi. I was quite overwhelmed when I found myself one morning alone on the bridge with nothing but the sound of water beneath me and the thoughts of what had happened here so many years ago. The local economy is built on tourists who come here to remember the past and to soak in the sights of this beautiful and mysterious part of the world. Not to mention, the food here is amazing. With hundreds of restaurants and cafes, I strongly suggest you visit here yourself. We're here by the river at Felix River Kwai, and we're going to be cooking a lap het or a mushroom salad, a great dish for vegetarians. We've got a great selection of organic mushrooms that are grown right here in the region. We've got the baby enoki mushrooms, some oyster mushrooms, the wood ear mushrooms, but in Thailand they call them rat's ear mushrooms. And we also have the white rat's ear mushroom and the little pink oyster mushrooms as well. Really delicious, great selection. It's really important for this dish that the mushrooms are kept sort of whole so they're larger and they give the salad more body and more depth. If you do cut them, just put the knife through them once and break them into maybe 1-inch pieces. Then we put those back over here. A little bit of water in the wok. With the mushroom salad, don't fry the mushrooms in oil. It makes the salad too slippery. Just a small amount of water and we sort of steam them. We grab the mushrooms, no seasoning required at this time. Let the mushroom flavour develop around the mushrooms. You don't want to cook them too long. About 1 minute is ample, otherwise they'll collapse too much and go very, very soft. Okay, so the mushrooms look perfect. Just turn the gas off, but leave them in the wok so they stay warm. This dish is best served when it is just warm room temperature. Don't let it go cold. Next, we make a dressing. Really simple. Some palm sugar syrup, and you can make this at home by taking some palm sugar and a small amount of water and just letting it simmer for about 2 minutes. And once it's dissolved, let it go cool, and you can keep it in your fridge and use it in all of your Thai dressings. So approximately 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of the palm sugar syrup. Some fresh lime juice, really lovely lime juice. Love the limes in Thailand. Now, being a vegetarian dish, we're not going to use fish sauce today. We're going to use soy sauce, and for all vegetarians, Thai soy sauce is perfect in all Thai dishes. 1.5 to 2 tablespoons. A very simple rule in Thai dressings is equal proportions, equal quantities of acidity, salt and sweetness. Okay, then we add our other ingredients to the salad. We've got some lovely shallots here, red shallots, some mint, and with the mint, feel free just to tear it, just to release some of the flavour from the mint. Some fresh coriander, this is a baby coriander, and we're also using today sawtooth coriander. Now, sawtooth coriander tastes very similar, a bit more robust and a bit more firm on the tooth. It's a really lovely thing to add. Just chop that up. Okay. Then we add a little bit of spring onion as well. And give that a mix. Okay, now time to add the mushrooms. With the water that's in the wok, just tip that off and then add your mushrooms to the salad. Lots of beautiful colours in here, really lovely. Now, in Thailand, the salad lap always has one key ingredient, and that is the ground toasted rice. Really simple to make. Take some jasmine rice, or you could use sticky rice as well, and you can place that into a wok. Give it about a minute, maybe a minute and a half on a high heat, constantly stirring, and then into the mortar and pestle and grind it up. It adds such a unique flavour to the lap dish. But don't hold back, about a tablespoon would be perfect. A little bit of chilli. Lap has some spice, some dried chilli in this instance. You could use fresh chilli if you wish, but I think the dried chilli adds more of a smoky sort of characteristic to the dish. With this dish, it's a really great day to celebrate being a vegetarian. Taste test. Every time have to taste test. It's already delicious, but what it needs is a bit more of the rice. Okay, now it's time to plate it up. I've got a plate prepared here, and what I've got here is some lovely wombok, some snake beans, some cucumber, some mint, and some of the sawtooth coriander left whole, and as you're eating the salad, just pick it up and chew it. Really delicious. A little bit more mint on top just to finish it off, and it's done. Absolutely terrific dish. Lap het, or a Thai mushroom salad. Nearby, in the centre of Kanchanaburi, the War Cemetery is the resting ground of over 7,000 people who lost their lives during the war. Many visitors come here from around the world to pay respects to the soldiers of Australia, New Zealand, England, and so many more countries worldwide. For me, it's a very emotional experience, and I'm so grateful to have had the chance to visit such an important place in our history. After the break, I cook a local river prawn dish, and we travel to visit one of Thailand's most ancient cities. So before we leave River Kwai, I thought we'd cook our last dish right in front of the bridge herself. And we're going to be doing a wonderful river prawn cooked in a red curry coconut sauce. Chu chi gung. Let's do it. These river prawns are caught from the river right here. The heads are really large. They've got a beautiful blue colour and they're very fresh, not salty at all. What we need to do is peel them. So when you peel them, make sure you're very careful not to tear off the head and also leave the tail on as well. It presents much better on the plate. And then once you've done that, just place the prawn on the board and just run a knife down the back and peel out the vein so it's nice and clean before you use it. Okay, we'll just light the wok. Important with this dish not to cook on too high a heat. You don't want your coconut milk to evaporate too quickly. Firstly, we start with our red curry paste and a little bit of oil. With every curry, make sure that you fry the paste first in the oil or some coconut milk to allow the flavours to come out. And then we add the coconut milk. Then we add a small amount of palm sugar, a soft palm sugar. Again, at home, if you don't have palm sugar, just use white sugar or brown sugar is fine. So we've now allowed the palm sugar to dissolve and the coconut milk to reduce so it's slightly thicker. And then place the prawns into the curry, just very gently though. The reason why we're doing it gently is I don't want the limbs on the prawns to snap and break away. That way it will present so much better. These prawns are so fresh, they will take about 1 minute on either side to cook and then they're ready to serve. Some long red chilli. Now the long red chilli's been cut into strips and we just sprinkle those around in the dish and just save a few to garnish on the top later. The kaffir lime leaf. Kaffir lime leaves are so fragrant and they're a very individual leaf. Nothing else tastes quite like it. However, they're quite coarse. So when you put them in there, make sure you cut them very, very thin. We call julienne. Okay, so the kaffir lime, sprinkle that around and it's now time for those prawns just to be turned over, very, very gently. The colour is amazing how they transform from that brilliant blue to this lovely hue of a burnt orange. It's lovely. Just to finish the dish, a small splash of the fish sauce, just to counterbalance the sugar that's in there. And we are done. To present these, place them gently on the plate and arrange them nicely. So with the last little bit of sauce that's in here, I'm going to give it a few more minutes just to reduce more and have more of a coating consistency when it goes over the prawns. Okay, that's reduced now. We'll pour that over the prawns. Finish it off with a small amount of the red chilli and a little bit extra of the kaffir lime. And you're done. Perfect dish to have by the river when you're in River Kwai. Chu chi gung, or river prawns cooked in red curry and coconut sauce.
Three hours northeast of Kanchanaburi, I visited the ancient city of Ayutthaya. The kingdom of Ayutthaya was a thriving place for over 400 years, where the palace was surrounded by an abundance of resources, food, wealth, and peaceful times. A time where buildings were built with detailed carvings in solid stone and handmade bricks that are still visible today. The Kingdom of Siam was one of the biggest and most powerful cities in Southeast Asia. Unfortunately, it was destroyed by the Burmese army in 1767, and today only the temples and remnants of the city walls remain. It is, however, one of the most incredible sights to take in.
Just on the edge of the street here in Ayutthaya, found this fantastic little snack. They call it roti sai mai, and it's a really delicious, chewy roti bread. And in here is a fairy floss just made from palm sugar. Placed in the centre like that, so simple, and then rolled up. And it's done. What an interesting snack. It's so delicious. Sweet, crunchy and chewy at the same time. Got to do this.
Half an hour up the road from Ayutthaya is Ang Thong Markets. I visit here every trip to Thailand, as two of my sisters also work here in wonderful fresh seafood markets. The people here are so warm and friendly and are passionate about the produce they sell. If you are looking for a wide variety of colour, aromas and sights, then put Ang Thong Markets on your itinerary. It's important to know that the market vendors take their food safety very seriously. They only cull enough meat for what they'll sell on that one day. They keep the meat on ice until restaurants and smaller market vendors come to get their produce from the larger wholesaler. Market vendors work 7 days a week in Thailand and usually specialise in only one type of product. Some ingredients may be a little more exotic than others, but the people here know what they are doing when it comes to quality produce. Lean pork, beef, chicken and fish, fresh vegetables and spices. The markets here have the lot. It's not a common place for tourists to go, but that's exactly why I love it. I enjoy going to places that are off the beaten track and to see how people live their normal lives day to day. I learned early on in my travels that sometimes the best way to experience a country is just to stop, then listen, taste, smell, and feel the country's energy for what it really is. Soak it up on a personal and realistic level. Sometimes just a simple cup of coffee while the world goes by is the best way to experience a country. On the next episode, it's an all-out seafood experience when I cook tom yum goong, grilled river prawns and crispy barramundi with a delicious sweet chilli sauce. We'll see you then.
Wow.